Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Hello and happy Friday. Got a couple things I'd like to talk to you guys about today. So I want to talk to you about some of the bugs that we're still experiencing in Salesforce 1.0 Phase 1. The plan for Phase 2, in case you haven't caught it yet. I want to talk to you about how you can automate the store location to be your store. And I'm going to tell you about how well you guys are using Salesforce 1.0. I've decided to look at a couple different data points in terms of following directions and capturing the data that we want you to capture. And then what I've decided to do is I'm going to give you a $5 gift card, randomly selecting a person who is doing a really good job of data entry this week. So I want to get you guys some more ownership in how you're entering the data. So let's dig in. I got a screen share for you.
First thing that I want you to make sure that you understand is to change the owner of a record, you're going to need to change the salesperson one field, not the owner field. If you notice, as of today, I no longer have the owner field on the page to help with the confusion that's been around this. As soon as we can get the owner back on there and ignore the salesperson one, I will have that working. It's just not quite there yet. The other thing I wanted to point out that I've said a couple times, but I think it's just I threw a lot of information at you all at once. So I wanted to point out, I know there's a lot of frustration with this intake screen for a new sales up, and that we really, as much as you know you shouldn't be entering all this information, you just go down and you start entering all this. This is all for the full product, and this will be phase 2 essentially. And the problem is that if you add information here, once you save the record, it doesn't look like this anymore, and it looks like this other record. So I'll pull up an existing one where it doesn't have vehicle and finance and everything. That's on purpose. So I, unfortunately, can make 0 changes in the most absolute value of 0 to this screen. I would love to have this mirror what you actually see once you save the record. Every single user of Dealer Team sees this screen, including mobility dealers and regular car dealers. And so this is just part of their platform. And once we save it, we can edit the layout. So this is our edited version, but we cannot edit the new screen. And so I would say that that's a bug, so to speak, but it's not going to get fixed unless Dealer Team changes their mind about us being able to edit that. Then they would change their settings on their end. So that's not going to get changed anytime soon. I'm really sorry that I can't change it. The other thing I want you to know is that Salesforce for Outlook has not been working, as you all are very familiar with by now. If you try to find a contact through Salesforce for Outlook and try to add an email, we've been getting errors, and you received this error. We could not relate this item. We know this is a problem. We know you cannot essentially use Salesforce for Outlook on your Outlook on your computer. However, if you log into Office 365, you can use Salesforce for Outlook. So in order to use Office 365 and do Salesforce for Outlook, when you have an email open, you see this little Salesforce icon here. You can click on that, and that pulls out the Salesforce to Outlook settings. You'll want to log in. It will require you to log into Lightning for Outlook, which is going to be just a slightly different change of the layout. But the nice thing is you can even add stuff to Sales Ups here. So I know that I have some Hit Pants Sales Up. To relate the email to this, it'll go as a task. You just click that button next to the Sales Up name, and then it's now related. All you have to do is on the left side of the left side panel here, you probably have nothing here. If you go to change it, what it does is it takes you to this screen. You're probably going to have 1, maybe 2 here. You're going to select whichever one is available to you. So if you have only 1 or 2, you're going to select which one it is. So right now it's going to automatically do Sales Ups with the UA Holdings. If I wanted to do 11 St. Louis North, I select that. And then now when I create a new Sales Up, it's automatically populated. If you go back and forth between 2 stores, all you have to do is go back over here, change it to whatever store you're working at that day, Albuquerque, whatever. And then now when you create new Sales Ups, Albuquerque is pulled in. If you have any questions about that, you can email salesforce@unitedaccess.com and we will address your questions. So we are on schedule for phase 2, planning on piloting in October. Right now, phase 1, we see just Sales Ups and BDC logs, and that's just for the sales and BDC team. Once we actually launch phase 2, that will include service, parts, and it will include the accounting team. And so that is when, in October onward, is when service and accounting will get onto the system, and inventory. That's where we have vehicles and everything here.
Don't stop believing.
The adoption dashboard that I've created. So what I've done is I've looked at a couple different data points. I'll probably add more as I go. These first 2 columns are good things. You definitely would be excited if your name was on here. You're doing a great job as far as I'm concerned. The last column here, probably some room for improvement. You don't want to see your name really on these items here. So I'm going to walk through these and show you kind of what I'm looking at. So how many times have you guys logged in the last week? How many times have you not logged in the last week? So far, it looks like everyone's been logging in who's active, so that's great. This looks at who's completed the most activities. I do the top 5 people who've completed the most activities. Looks like it goes to Beatrice for 494 activities completed. And I believe I changed this. It's actually the last 7 days, but I have to double check that. And then it just says who has the most open activities. And I wouldn't necessarily say having 1,000 activities is a good thing, probably too much. But it just probably depends on your role. So there's not much I can really assess from here, but it does give you an idea of kind of our really high activity users. But then over here, I see who got the most new sales ups for the week, who won the most sales ups this week, who is actually capturing the lost reason when you mark a lead as lost. And for this week, it looks like David has been the number one. David and Janet been doing a good job capturing that information. Probably need to look at how many we've lost and compare it to that. But good job, guys. And then who's been capturing the referral information? So I have a lot where salesperson 1 is blank, so I have to look into that. Looks like Tanya and Jean, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. And Leslie and Isabel have been doing a great job capturing that information. And then this is also telling us who captured the most customer contact information. So that would just be that you created a new account this week and you captured either the email, phone number, one of the phone numbers, or you marked that the customer refused to provide information, so that you followed instructions, basically, is what this is saying. So, for example, Tanya is doing, all of these guys are doing great jobs here. Then we have over here, if you haven't logged in this week, you don't really want to see your name here. If you have open sales ups without any open activities, that's probably a really quick way to lose a line of sight on your sales ups. So you might want to double check that there. These are open BDC logs without any activities, and I'm kind of a little surprised by these numbers. So I got to double check this report. I just haven't had time to mess with it because I know BDC is really good about this. And then the other question here is how many of you have a lost description, a lost reason marked in your sales up, but you have your sales up as open right now, which doesn't really make any sense. So again, these are just things to double check on kind of what's going on with your data.
Okay, so of the dashboard that I just showed you, like I said, I was going to randomly select someone to win a $5 Starbucks gift card just because I wanted to show the appreciation of people following the instructions. Jean Kiefer, I believe, I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, wins the $5 gift card. So thanks for being awesome, guys. Tune in next week to see if maybe you win a $5 gift card. And if you have any questions, you can email Salesforce at United Access.